What do you guys want to talk about? Let's get me into this. Show me what's up. This is my first time on you guys.
Yes, welcome.
Me too. But
right?
Yeah, welcome.
I went ahead and ranked all the 2000 Iron Maiden albums from. I listened to them all in the last 2 days.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I did a cram session on the new record, and then the guys that are staying with me from Venezuela, they're like Maiden freaks. So they got everything here at my house right now. So, like, I mean, they went nuts. And my wife just got home, so this is all good. But this is the triple vinyl red from Walmart, and there's Mr. Morgan.
And Walter Morgan.
Walter.
What up?
That's
Hello.
awesome. This is getting fun. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Let me get my wife this one. Anyway, this is awesome. You guys didn't tell me rock stars were going to be on here. That's awesome. So, yeah, the new Maiden record. I like I said, I've been doing more of a crash course on it, but even me being the hard ass that I am, the record is growing on me more than I thought it would. Because at first when I heard it, I listened to the whole thing, and I got to the last 3 songs, and on the last 3 songs, I was like, hell yes. The beginning of the record and stuff kind of threw me here and there, but I'm still sold on the last 3 tracks.
It's funny. I told a story on Facebook that I had taken a walk and I only had disc 2, so I listened to it twice, and I called it Iron Maiden elevator music. But it did grow on me, and the guitar work is phenomenal, and the songs are long. But you know, I'm older now, and I can really appreciate it. You know.
So I agree. I was actually a little bummed at first because I'm like, you guys put the best 3 songs at the end? What the fuck? I mean, like, sometimes they need to have dicks like us in the studio with them to tell them how to rearrange these records, man. Like, I just thought that you're gonna put those last 3 songs at the end. When you go back and listen to it, because I know we're all gonna do it again even after this.
Oh yeah.
Those 3 songs, man.
4 songs.
Okay, there you go. You have to.
There's only 4 that I really got to listen to, but besides the 2 singles. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Walter had some issues.
That's why we're doing this, right?
I get it. You know, it's also because we can't give these guys a free pass, even though we love the shit out of them. I mean, that's not the way to do it.
How did you like it in comparison to Book of Souls?
I didn't listen to that record that much. I'll be honest with you. The last record I really kind of paid attention to, and a lot of people were on the fence about this one, was A Matter of Life and Death.
I really liked that one.
It's a great one.
Brave New World. That one is even better for me.
Okay.
We think alike, Walter. Like I said, I ranked all 6 records that have come out since 2000, and Brave New World's #1, Matter of Life and Death's #2.
See that? Andy Ford.
Wow. And even when I saw them
Dance
do
to Death
that
after
tour, when I saw them on the Matter of Life and Death tour, I wasn't even mad at them for playing the whole record in its entirety.
Touring is different than the records. I've enjoyed every Iron Maiden tour. You know, of course, you want to hear the older songs, and when they get on it, you know, how many years have they been playing, and it's incredible how many songs they have to choose from.
Yeah.
But, you know, everyone loves the old hits and whatnot, but
yep.
Right. I'm hoping that for this tour that, I mean, if they're going to go all the way and do this album in its entirety, like the Life and Death one, that would be my...
That'd be a long concert.
They didn't screw up in the marketing department. This record is so easy to market. It's not even funny.
That first video with the animation too. I'm still catching Easter eggs in that thing. If you watch it, there's just all kinds of goodness here.
I think the thing that's insane is that they were smart enough to pick the theme that they picked.
Oh hell yeah!
They're already beloved in Japan anyway. So like, and I saw some of the promotional stuff they're doing over there. Life-size cardboard cutouts. Who doesn't want that?
I put one in my room.
Maiden's so damn.
I want that.
They're so damn smart, and that's all I can say is they're just smart.
Yeah.
So Katon, So Katon, since you hopped on first, even before I did, he said, "I'm here." I'm like, "Oh shoot, I'm coming." So thank you. Thank you for being so early.
Once I was trying not to be late for once.
So why don't we start with what is your favorite track? Favorite?
I'll go with the very final track.
All on Earth.
Yeah. When I heard, I mean, like I said, the last three, and I know Walter's going 4, but the last 3 songs for me were like the way they stacked them.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that when you listen to that whole vibe, the way the songs are stacked is amazing. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm still getting used to this thing. I mean, I'm still kind of taking it in because, like, even getting ready for this, when you guys, I knew this was going to be a panel of people who knew what they were talking about, even more than me on this record. I was like, I better cram and listen to it, and the last 3 songs still do it for me. Even though, let me flip it over. Here's the vinyl. Walter? Did you get this yet?
Yeah, I did. I got the deluxe media book version. I bought the last 2 like that.
It's fucking insane. It's insane. I mean, I'm still kind of on the fence because I got to figure out if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go crazy, get something insane because all my friends got like double deluxe, fucking triple pack, vintage vinyl with, I don't know. It's just insane. Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas, welcome.
A lot of good people in here right now. This is cool.
Hi, Keaton.
Hey, how are you, man? Good to see everybody. Like, I'm stoked. I was going to be like, there we go. So what is that version? What are those versions?
Those are their media books, so they're just deluxe. They got
all kinds of shit in them.
You went hardcore. That package is insane.
My English is bad. I view to
You're doing great, and just hang out with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
And don't worry, our English isn't that good either. So you're with the perfect people.
Wait, we've all been drinking, so it'll get progressively worse. So don't worry.
Yes, welcome, Thomas. Cheers.
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 So I want somebody else to take this because, like I said, I'm still like a newbie to this.
Yeah, no, let's Andy Ford. Andy Ford has been ramping up on this.
Not to talk over people because I have a tendency to do that since 2000, right? I saw them on the X Factor tour or Virtual X, one of them 2, at the Fillmore in like '97. I don't know if you remember that, Walter, up in the Bay. They played
I
the
try to
Fillmore.
take every tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They played the fucking Fillmore.
You even went to those tours?
Huh? When Blaze Bayley was in the band, right before I came back, they were playing the Fillmore. The Fillmore.
I didn't see that one.
And I think on the previous one, either I can't remember which Virtual X or X Factor, they played the Warfield. And Priest played the Warfield with River. It was a bad time for metal right there, right before that stuff. But now they're playing stadiums again. Stadiums. It's just where Maiden had a lot of bands have done it, but if you think about it with Blaze Bayley and all that, and now they're playing clubs again back to stadiums with Bruce, and I think Bruce brings more of a showmanship at that time. And the other thing I noticed about it all is you guys got to remember every album since 2000 has been produced by Kevin Shirley. Every album. So
that might be the problem I have with it.
I can agree with that a little bit, maybe. And I have a theory on the long songs. When you have 3 lead guitar players, you got to make them a little longer so you can everybody gets a solo, right?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you could chop some of that shit down too, but
as a producer, I probably would.
Sometimes people are over. You know, sometimes you got to cut it out, quit it. You know, get out of there. But I think the Kevin Shirley problem is that he cleans them up too much. That's always been the problem I've had with Maiden. They're so good anyways. You don't need to clean that band up. Leave them alone. Knock it off.
Wouldn't it be cool to watch him go do something like Sabbath did with their first debut album and record a whole album in like a day and not clean anything up and see how it comes out like live?
Give him a producer with balls would be nice too, though.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. Just get somebody in there that lets it be a little dirtier. That's all.
Or how about Rick Rubin, who doesn't really do anything but lay on a couch and says, "That's good."
And yet everything's a masterpiece from him. Jeez.
Tells them to go listen to their old shit, and then comes back and goes, "Ah, that's good." Isn't that what he did? That's what he did with Sabbath and Metallica.
I like
Listen
this.
to your first record and then come back and talk to him.
He had the microphone with Sabbath. He's like, "Yeah, can you do that again, Ozzy?" Ozzy, huh?
That's funny shit.
You're killing me. But I just think that the producers should try to still pump these musicians for get the best out of them. It doesn't matter how big they are. Still try to drive them. I think sometimes they get a little too pampered.
It gets a little formulaic, I guess there's a formula word for formulaic or whatever. But if you keep using the same guy over and over again, don't you get in kind of a rut? I think you should switch up producers like every album almost. 5 different guys to make you sound different.
I think you do got to you don't have to jump around a ton, but you got to here and there go get somebody else, Martin Headman Birch.
I'd like to see him come back.
Dude, Birch, go back and listen to Killers.
Or a fucking Peace of Mind. Perfect. Oh.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Kevin, because that comes up a lot. And for me, I think for the most part, I'm okay with everything except for when Bruce sings, when the vocal melody is the same as the instrumental melody, it gets really it's like all one thing. I can't hear it. And it's just, it kind of bothers me. But then I realized when it's not the same, it sounds really good. So that's my only big beef that kind of pops out when I listen to, the Kevin Shirley era stuff. It's not as separated as I'd like for me. Katon, what would you, if you were him,
as a vocalist,
what would you change about it?
I would have stopped working with Shirley a while ago. That's just me. The reason I'm just saying that is they don't need to be cleaned up so much. I mean, they're already melodic. They have their progressive stuff that's amazing. Like, nobody can sit down and write an intro like that band. They've written some of the greatest heavy metal intros of all time. So why would you need to clean them up? I think that's what happens, though, because of radio play, even though we don't talk about that. To get a band like that played on the radio is important, especially in other countries where they actually do play metal.
I just say they don't play them in America on the radio.
They're kind of over polished on this last couple of them. Over polished is another thing I think with the band's capabilities now, technically, that bands can go into this over polished zone, and look at this album, 2 years in the can. Why do we have to wait 2 years to hear new Maiden music? I mean, it's like a wasted. It's like they're different now than they were 2 years ago, and there's such a delay, from when Katon and I, at least being as old as we are, we can remember bands sometimes release 2 albums back, like Aerosmith, and 2 albums in a year.
Nugent would put out two albums a year.
AC/DC, dude. Those guys were monsters at that shit. They had one waiting to come out while they were on tour.
Yeah. Credence, like 4 albums in 1 year. So yeah.
I think Zeppelin did some shit like that too. It's just like, I don't know. I think that's back when you just went in the studio and you pumped shit out and you worked hard and then you went to the pub for some beers, that kind of shit. Now there's just so much therapists going down to studios to talk to musicians and stuff. Like,
this is a good quote. My quote. But it's hard to get multimillionaires to work. And that's the problem. It's like, I see that even Metallica, it's like to get those guys together, and not to take it off topic, but the problem with Metallica is that they have so many riffs that they write, and then they're writing these songs and they're piecing it together. It's not one song. It's like pieces of ideas put together, and they don't flow. Yeah. And the song, you think, oh, that's the old Metallica I'm waiting for. And then the change comes and it's totally different and doesn't make sense. And you think, wow, they almost were right there. and then it's gone. But the over-polishedness of this Maiden record, that's why I call it kind of like elevator music. But they can nail the leads and melodic, and they have a lot of the qualities that I love in bands. I can't listen to a lot of bands that are just as much as I'd like to in the old days. You know, I'm very picky about what I do listen to. But
Yeah,
I'll have to go back and listen to the first side at least 4 times, like I have side 2. That's my objective this week.
I think I'll do the same because I've been.
I got to
I'll
go
be
back.
honest with you,
I
I'm a
listened to
little
it
bit of a
today.
hard ass, especially when it comes to Maiden. I just hold those guys in a really high regard. It's almost like I want to choke that band to death. I love them so much.
Now, Katon, I know that you were around when they played the Long Beach Arena. Were you at those 3 shows where they filmed that video?
You're gonna laugh your ass off. I was in the parking lot all the nights because those parties at the Long Beach Arena, and by that point, I saw them on the Number of the Beast tour. So I'm such a dick. I'm like, I saw them on Number of the Beast. So, and I should have saw them on the Killers tour when they were supporting UFO, but that was another time. You have no idea how these parking lot parties were at the Long Beach Arena. It was just as good.
I've been there.
Yeah.
There.
So
my cousin was there also. I missed that one, but I've been to Long Beach Arena quite a few times.
Such a beautiful venue for heavy metal. Like there should be some films on that place. But I just after a while I just didn't try to get into the shows because I'd seen them and I was like, they're not going back. Like I mean, Clive Burr, like at least I got to see him with Clive Burr. I didn't get to see him with Paul. The Paul thing makes me mad because I missed it by that much. I was around, I just didn't get into the venue, and they were opening for UFO. What's better than that?
Wow.
You know, but
so I've always with Priest on Point of Entry too with Killer's lineup.
I'm sure they did. They did it. They did a couple of tours with Priest. Priest took them out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't remember that, but Priest took out Maiden.
The first time I saw them, I think Andy saw them at Day on the Green.
Foreigner Lover Boy.
Must have been like Number of the Beast early.
Yes.
Was it Number of the Beast?
Number of the Beast.
But I remember they opened Day on the Green, and back then it was like 10 in the morning, wasn't it, Andy, when they came on?
Yeah, like 10, 11 o'clock.
11, yeah. Or they opened the doors at 10, but I got there early just to see them, and I actually there wasn't a lot of people up in front. I actually got Dave Murray's guitar pick.
Wow.
I still have that sucker.
That's cool.
But it's not even God damn this thing. It's not
embossed.
It doesn't have an Iron Maiden logo on it. It's just a Fender pick, one of those marble Tortex marble looking picks, just regular.
Yeah, I saw that same tour. I should have seen them the year before that, but I saw that tour and they were amazing. And we were lucky because by that point we would hear what would happen in the Bay Area, and they came down to LA, and we were all there, and they killed. Like, and it was early, like you guys said, probably 11 o'clock, and it was hotter than shit. But they were fucking on fire, and you could tell that they were going for the jugular. Like they wanted it. Like they were very hungry at that point.
That was my second concert I ever got to go to in my life. The Day on the Green.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Saw Ted Nugent in Santa Rosa before that.
They're just so great. So it's hard to, like, when people want to talk about that band, like, you don't want to crucify them, but you also don't want to give them a free pass because they're so great. And Steve Harris is the man. Like, he's still my favorite guy, even though, like, I like Paul and I loved Clive. Clive was like a very special drummer. You're never going to get a Clive Burr ever again. Like, especially when you hear the work on Number of the Beast. The work on Number of the Beast is phenomenal.
Yep.
So
that's true. I saw them at they signed at I think the Record Vault back then. I have a Number of the Beast signed by all of them.
Wow.
That I don't know if you guys know Lloyd Gregg. He's an old name in metal in the Sunset District, but he got that for me, and it's amazing how long it's been if you really think about it, and how they're on top. Whereas, I think they are pretty much the biggest metal act that there is.
Yeah,
bigger than Metallica actually.
And they're unscarred. Like at this point, there's no scars to show anymore. Like like a lot of bands are walking around where there's somebody that doesn't like the other guy, or there's still some weird shit, and they just kick somebody out. Like Maiden. they're just going to be a gravy train if they keep it upright.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
So let's talk about the third guitar player. How do you feel
Oh, wait,
about
wait, wait.
that, Katie?
Wait, Walter, wait.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. I think Andy was telling us how he ranked them, and
Oh yeah. You want to hear my whole ranking?
yeah.
Number 6 for me is The Final Frontier. Never really got into that record at all. I've listened to it. I listened to it again yesterday.
Uh-huh.
It does nothing for me.
I saw the cover and I said, nah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. The marketing was kind of funky. It was like unappealing.
Yeah. And then number 5 was The Book of Souls. Another record is And I don't even know how to pronounce. What's the current record? Senjutsu?
Senjutsu?
Jutes.
That's number 4 for me.
Oh, okay.
And then Dance of Death. I like that record a lot.
Mhm.
And then A Matter of Life and Death, which I saw that tour. They played the whole album and the tank and everything. I really like the song These Colors Don't Run. And then number 1 of all of them is still the first one they did, Brave New World. That record just came out and smashed people in the face.
You know what? You guys are making me have to go back and listen to that record now because I'll be honest
Brave
with
New
you.
World?
I've been kind of mean over the years, so I'm going to have to go back and
I
listen.
love that album.
So I actually trust you guys, so I'm going to go listen to it.
That was a good ranking. And you mentioned some of these songs that actually, that's what I kind of was alluding to, the journey to from the 21-year journey. So I took some notes. So the Dance of Death, the title track, that one is very much like the songs on this album. And that one came out in 2003. Face in the Sand from
That's the
that
song.
great song. Reminds me of this album. It's like has the nuance. Matter
good
of
word.
Life. Colors Don't Run.
Yeah, that's
that one.
That is a
great
good
song.
track, no doubt.
And you know what? Wait, I got a side note on that.
Yeah.
When they played that song after fucking Sharon Osbourne egged them at the fucking Ozfest, I was there.
Bullshit, by the way.
I
That
was
was
there.
bullshit.
I was there, but the fucking song they busted into was These Colors Don't Run. And all the fucking them doing that egging, it made Maiden play better. It just got pissed.
Pissed me off.
When they cut the PA off, it was fucking sick.
Dude, I wasn't there and I heard about that. That's one of the most bullshit things that's ever happened in rock music, ever.
I was there.
Orchestrated by Sharon. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. How could people even let that one go? Like, Maiden got egged while they were playing.
Yeah. And all Bruce said was These Colors Don't Run. They busted into that. And and half the people left Ozfest during Black Sabbath because of that.
Wow.
They were going out fast.
Yeah, that was huge. I remember all my friends just going, dude, you ain't going to believe what happened at that show.
Fucking crazy. The worst part than the eggs was she was turning the PA off and on.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
just,
But when you think about somebody throwing an egg at somebody like Steve Harris, doesn't that make you pretty enraged? It makes me mad. Like,
especially when it's like OTEP and Kelly Osbourne.
wow.
Oh my God.
So, were we going to talk about, was it the third guitarist?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me just finish just to finish like Andy's kind of thing. And so, yeah, on that Matter of Life, it was like for the greater good of God. That one reminds me of like what we have here with the latest and Brighter Than 1,000 Suns. That one. Yep. And Final Frontier, Isle of Avalon, Starblind, like those kind of nuances too. Book of Souls, everything from the Red and Black and like Onward kind of reminds me of like where they're going here. So that was basically what I kind of listening to those 6 albums. That's what I kind of got that feel.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
So that's where they are now, huh?
Yeah. So the third guitarist, it's a good segue. That's a good one, Walter. We have Vinicius. He is from Brazil, and I found him on YouTube. He's a YouTuber that has been doing a lot of the covers from the latest album, and they're really good. So I'd like to. Like Hell on Earth. I mean, he does it so well. I told him I think I've listened to his version of Hell on Earth more than the actual Iron Maiden version. And he was,
All right.
welcome.
What's up, dude?
Welcome. So I was going to play a little bit. I mean, it's like an 11-minute track, but I'm going to play a little bit so you get a sense of Vinicius, and then we'll chat with him. And Walter will bring that whole third guitarist in because Vinicius is a huge Yannick Gers fan.
I do want to ask when after this happens. I
Yes.
want to know why he likes Janet Gears so much. I mean, not. I just want to know. We'll go over that.
You will find out.
Yeah.
Did you edit the video all by yourself? 'Cause the editing's fucking awesome in the video too.
Oh, sorry, my English skill is not so good. You asked me if I myself
Editing.
record myself.
Yeah, you recorded it and edited it and put it all together yourself.
Yeah, I use my iPhone, just
You know,
iPhone,
the iPhone?
and
Wow.
Cool.
no camera, just my cell phone.
Just
Yeah.
funny.
I want to do the whole album.
Is that
The whole
Thomas?
Senjutsu. It's a great album. Science, a Brave New World. I Senjutsu. The Senjutsu song. It's a pretty cool. And I don't know if wow. The ending of I don't know if I imagine the end of the world with the two guitars, dun 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 dun, dun and fade out. It's so amazing.
Love your spirit, man. Jeez, you're killing me. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
he's really good. What do you think of the Time Machine?
Oh yeah, I did. I did a video about Time Machine. Is Yannick Gers and Steve Harris writing the song, right? And like the Talisman and the Legacy, Dream of Mirrors. Hey, they use it so good, and the Time Machine has some parts from the Book of Souls and the Age of Darkness. It's about the time, and I like the song.
Wow. You know what's funny? I felt that
Your favorite song, Katie, by the way.
Lost in a Lost World, I thought that was better myself.
Yeah, will be the next
I-
one I do to YouTube.
Yeah, I kind of like the second half of the record's my favorite at the moment. Much like Walter, I'm going to go back and listen to the first half. But when I was listening to it today to get ready for this, for some reason, when I heard Lost in a Lost World, I was like, I might
This
need to,
the song
I,
has
I might need to
some.
reconsider my stance.
The song is pretty cool. The introduction of the song have some things from Pink Floyd and Uriah Heep. I don't know. Jethro Tull. Stevie is a huge fan from Jethro Tull.
Yes,
I
he
think
is.
we all hear it differently too, because when I got to the Time Machine song, that's the one that actually turned me off. Like I was like, what is going on here? And then also I felt like I wanted my time back, so I thought it was kind of ironic that the song's called Time Machine. But I mean
Yeah.
it's to each is their own. I mean I maybe I need to listen to it a few more times, but when I first heard it, I was like, what's going on with that track? That was kind of the
Yeah.
one that got me.
I'm on repeat mode since September 30. I'm on repeat mode with Senjutsu.
You've been listening to it a lot.
Question that they asked you was, why do you like Yannick so much?
Yannick on stage is absolute amazing and wonderful, I think. And on the studio, Yannick can write some things, some stuffs that I like, I appreciate with acoustic guitar and Dream of Mirrors, Weekend Water from Fear of the Dark. Blaze Era have the Aftermatch and 2 a.m. The intro in The Clansman, amazing. I love it of him. Sorry, and I started to play because I saw Yannick playing on Rock in Rio DVD 2001. Yeah, and when I saw it, I think, wow, I want to do it. I need a guitar.
Tell them how you got into Iron Maiden, what you told me earlier today.
Yeah, playing a game from PlayStation 2, Guitar Hero. Yeah, this game
Guitar Hero?
has the Trooper on set list. And when I put to play on the controls on joystick, yeah, I just playing and listening the song, and oh, what the fuck is that? I, I saw the band name. I have not heard about it then. I don't knew Iron Maiden, but just I saw Iron Maiden, the Trooper Iron Maiden. I think, wow, this band is powerful. This is my favorite band. Was in 2006. Yeah, 2005. I don't know, 2006. I think.
I got socks older than that.
When they released A Mother of Life and Death. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not too old. I'm a young boy. Yeah,
It's good.
but I listened Maiden Science 2006, I think.
Yeah, I chatted with Vinicius
talk-
earlier. He said he's 26 years old, so that's when I asked him, like, how did you learn
Yeah.
about Iron Maiden? And that's when he told me about playing Guitar Hero, introduced him to the band.
I am blown away, but in the most awesome
Just talk
way.
about Maiden, and today Pray for the Dying turns 21 years, and I have vinyl here. Yeah, vinyl and CG version. Can you see?
Katon was in the parking lot for that album.
Look, it's beautiful, man.
It's
That's true. That's true.
That's cool.
The first album with Yannick. I love this album. Tayugane, No Pray for the Dying, Bring Your Dog to Your Log, and Mother Russia. It's a such song.
Very cool.
Want to see it
This is awesome.
live someday.
I'm blown away. This is awesome.
By the way, but something I really want to hear is Mr. Jon
Yeah.
Leon from White Wizzard there. He really, really likes this new record. And I mean, it's amazing. Right?
Yeah, Maiden's a huge influence, man. I mean, pretty much spent my entire junior high years watching Live After Death and air basing, and that's, I mean, Steve Harris is what inspired me to pick up an instrument. And I mean, I think everyone's got a pretty strong attachment to that band in every aspect of the metal genre. You know, it's kind of that one band that I think no matter, you know how many subgenres there are in heavy metal now, and they seem to be that one band that just seems to cross-pollinate with every single genre, from the heaviest to the most hair metal to the most death metal. It just, everybody in every genre seems to like Maiden and loves to argue over their best records, and that's kind of what their strength is I think their crossover appeal in the genre. And you know, their first 7 records are untouchable. You know, everything up to Seventh Son to me is a work of art, and everything they've done has been good. They've never released any it's terrible or anything, but you know, the records that they did in their heyday were, I mean, that's about as strong of a 7 songs in a row as you could probably ever do, right? So the longevity of their career is also super impressive. I think their new album is a kind of a realization of the thing that Steve's been trying to do since X Factor, trying to bring his prog influences into the band, and that's his favorite stuff. He grew up on all that. That's really Steve's heart. That's his favorite shit. And I think at some point he said, F it, this is what I want to do. And I think that especially the second side of this record, those last 4 songs or so are indicative of that vision. I think that's the best thing personally they've done since Seventh Son as a whole record. I like it more than Brave New World. Brave New World to me is kind of like the Force Awakens of Star Wars, you know, like they came out with it and like it's got all the formulas that everybody likes and kind of appeased the fan base when Bruce came back. But for me personally, I think this album has more depth to it in the prog side, which I'm a big prog guy. I know some people probably like Brave New World or Matter of Life and Death better.
I do.
You know, to each their own. I mean, that's what's, I mean, Jesus Christ, there's so much music that they've made now. It's pretty much like, you know, if you want something fast and in your face, go listen to Power Slave. If you want some prog, listen to this record. If you want X, Y, or Z, they've kind of covered those bases, I think, as far as what their catalog brings to the table. So there's kind of something for everybody. You can't please everybody with every release, and everybody's different. That saying your mileage may vary really, really applies to Maiden, especially in the post 80s era. And everyone's kind of got their favorite records. I've noticed, it's usually between those three: Brave New World, Matter of Life and Death, and now this one. I think most people will probably agree those are kind of the three best since Seventh Son, maybe along with Bruce's two last solo records, Chemical Wedding and Accident of Birth, which are really super good too, as far as in the Maiden realm. But I do think the new album's very good, and I think no matter whether you love it or not, I think that Steve's prog side, at least, he's managed to kind of finally do something that I think is kind of that perfect balance of what he was trying to do. So I know personally, I'm very close friends with Maiden's PR person. She works with Steve and Bruce every day, and I know personally that Steve is extremely proud of this record, and everyone in the Maiden camp feels it's the best thing they've done in a super long time. So the band themselves are super proud, especially Steve, and I can kind of see why. It's kind of, his thing. And it's definitely, I mean, you consider their age, man, like everything they've done, everything they've been through. Priest kind of pulled it off with Firepower, and Rush did with their last album, Clockwork Angels. I think it's great to see these older bands come back with strong material and kind of put an exclamation point on their careers. So I enjoy the record. I think it's really good.
What are your favorite tracks on the new album?
Oof. I like the last four. I really like the second disc. I think the first disc is super. I almost feel like the first disc is almost like they took kind of a Black Album approach. It's very accessible. The songs are structured and produced in a certain way. It's almost like two different kind of things to me. And the second side gets into a much deeper, more complex place. I quite enjoy the second side just kind of as a whole. It's just got this amazing kind of flow to it. I haven't really settled in on one song per se, but I think as a whole, the album's got a good balance to it. I mean, I'm sure people will be torn with tracks 2 and 3. They're a little bit more simplified, a little bit more a different kind of vibe than what people are used to with Maiden. There's almost, you can hear kind of Adrian Smith's, if you go listen to Smith Kotzen, his project now, you can hear a little bit of that crossing over into that one track they did the animation for, not Stratego, but the other one, I'm sorry, it's escaping me. But, you can hear them bringing in other influences. I'm sure I know what it's like. They're probably bored with the formula. Maiden has kind of stayed, they're like Slayer and AC/DC. They've kind of stayed in a framework that works, that keeps the fan base satisfied. But you can sense sometimes they really want to kind of venture out of it a bit and try different shit. And that's kind of what I like on this, is they at least a little bit did that. And I know some people, Maiden fans, are going to be like, it's not X, Y, or Z. But in a way, that's cool because they've already done that to death. So it's like, if everybody another Power Slave, just go listen to Power Slave, man. It's been done.
Right. Yeah. Well put. And yeah, that's what I said when someone texted me. They were an old friend, kind of almost angry that I liked it. And it's like, really? Why do you like this? And I kind of said the same thing. I said they weren't afraid to stay in their lane, right? Stay in the lane. Like, don't do all those long songs. Don't do what you want. It's like, no, it's like they're at that point where it's like, I'm going to do this. And we're not going to be apologetic. And I love it. I mean, like I said, it's very polarizing, this album, more than probably every album that they put out. But the people who are into it, and they're into it, it sounds like, from what you told us about Steve being super proud of his work.
He's super proud of it. Yeah, I know that he's just like, really, really has a lot of pride with it, and they're really super stoked on it. And it's like you said, like trying new things, whatever. Like, they've done this before. I mean, they obviously did it with Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son when they brought the synths in and the keyboards, and that was a pretty ballsy move at the time, because if you remember '86, that was the height of thrash. I mean, at least in America, that was Rain and Blood, that was Peace Sells, that was Master of Puppets, right? So at that time, all the metalheads in America, especially, were really anti-keyboards. Like, so when they did that, I remember that. I mean, Priest did Turbo as well, and that was even more commercial.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, Maiden did still their sound, and it was still heavy and great. It just had the element of the other, obviously keyboards and synths. I love those records personally, but at the time, I remember as a little kid, a lot of the metalheads were just like, those albums fucking suck. Fuck Maiden. They sold out. I mean, even Maiden was getting the whole sellout thing just because they used keyboards. And it was ballsy in '86. They definitely, didn't make a lot of new fans in the thrash crowd back then. I remember a lot of them kind of turned their backs on them a bit.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But they never had the balls to show their keyboard player on stage.
Ha! I met him. He's a cool dude.
He's coming to the joint all the time.
Yeah, he's at the Rainbow sometimes. I think it's Kenny is his last name, right? Yeah, really
cool dude. Very cool dude.
Yeah, Mary knows him, and
don't need to show the guy. No need.
He's super cool. He's
Is he part of the band though?
Why was it?
I think he's also Steve's bass
that they
tech.
decided to go. Who's that? Oh, I'm sorry.
The keyboard. He's also Steve's bass tech.
Oh, okay.
He lives over in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's kind of the
Very cool dude.
He's not the guy behind the scenes doing all that shit. He is really a super nice guy. I had some drinks with him once.
The keyboard on Senjutsu Steve Harris did the keyboard on Senjutsu, not Michael Kennedy, not this time.
You didn't really? Oh, wow. Must have been pandemic flight restrictions or something. Because Mike lives in fucking Hollywood.
Bass and keyboard.
Yeah, I don't know if Michael ever did studio keys. I know he does them live because Steve can't do them. As far as the studio, I've never confirmed. I don't know.
Live
even back in the day.
Oh, actually, let's wrap up with Vinicius because he's in Brazil. He's like 4 hours out, and he has some studying to do. So, in addition to his guitar playing, I think he's studying to be like petroleum engineering. So he's in college, and pretty impressive.
Risky job. These
smarter than all of us here.
Yeah, dude,
I know. So
it's all going electric.
Don't hang
yeah,
out.
it is.
So I know.
Don't go there.
So I know Andy showed a pretty sweet Maiden shirt. So
actually, it's not a Maiden shirt. It's a fucking
Star Wars.
Iron Maidens.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a riff on him. Yeah, cute. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So
Warlord clothing, by the way.
Yeah.
Bruce Reed and Phobia and shit like that.
Vinicius, do you want to share? So he showed me his shirt, and he has some pretty cool Maiden tats that he has. So do you want to share with everyone?
I choose a great t-shirt tonight. Yeah, even t-shirt from Brazil, Rock in Rio, and from Legacy of the Beast too. Ads drink caipirinha, a drinky Brazilian drink.
Give me 100 for it.
Drink that.
And Brazilian flag and England flag. Yeah, it's a fun
cool.
shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, I have the Belshazzar feast. Senjutsu start here.
I'll give you 10,000 real for that shirt.
Wow.
I'll give you $100. How much is that? I'm a shirt addict.
I think real is like 30 cents to the US dollar.
So I didn't even know what Hale is. I thought
Give you
The
1,000.
Brazilian money.
Yeah,
The Brazilian
not
money.
so good.
it's changed like 20 times in the last 20 years, right?
Oh my god.
$1 is no. Sorry. I need 5.5 reals to buy $1. It's not
okay.
so good.
Hey, Vinicius,
Hey man.
are you there?
Yeah.
He's
Can
in
you
and out.
hear me?
Spirit,
Yeah.
man, that's awesome that you love Janik the way you love him. I got respect for that. You know, like whoever you is like your hero, always hold that torch up, man. That's bitching. I love, obviously Dave Murray's my guy, but you know, everybody's got their dude. But much respect.
Dave is the guitar sound of Iron Maiden. There's no Maiden without Dave Murray.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
saying that. You hit me in the
Yeah,
heart, bro. You hit me in the heart.
Yeah, and I agree with John. John talking a few minutes ago. Um, Maiden is in the prog moment, science the X Factor, I think. But Brave New World with Bruce comes back and bring Adrian. Wow, it's amazing sound with heavy metal, classic heavy metal, and the modern prog. And you know they they do it science Brave New World with Dance of Death, with A Matter of Life and Death. What a great release! And Senjutsu followed this line. And wow, the second disc of Senjutsu, what the fuck? Hell on
Unanimous
Earth,
decision.
Darkest Hour, wow, Death of the Celts,
I listened to that record
some
one time through, and the second side blew me away.
some
I was sold on the second side
yeah,
right when that's I couldn't believe the way they closed that record down.
yeah. Death of the Celts have some stuffs similar stuffs from the Klansman, I think. The atmospheric Celt. Yeah, Yannick bring it to Iron Maiden.
That's an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think Yannick
imagine
really
there's a lot of opinions
I
here.
can
Paris to
see
do these
Bruce
songs. I
dance
think.
with Yannick.
I gotta give this kid credit. He loves
He's
Janik.
sticking his guns, man.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
Like,
I like his guitar playing, but I think Yannick is a distraction live.
You think
I-
he's a little?
I think he's a little
understand-
hammy. It's almost like the guitar player in Killswitch. It's so heavy of a guitar, but the way he runs around and does it with a cape and everything kind of lessens it. And I think
drives
that
me nuts.
You're talking about
That's
Adam from
Yannick.
Killswitch, right?
no matter how good he is in the studio, and I feel like they didn't have the nerve or they didn't have the heart to fire him, so they kept him for him filling in and providing an important part
Caden.
of Iron Maiden's bridge, but they didn't. They kept him, and I think that a lot of times you see him and it kind of lessens their performance because he's so
Santa's reindeer.
outlandish and what do you call that? Like
He's one of Santa's reindeer. He's fucking prancing.
Yeah.
Showboating and
flaming.
Around, yeah. The
That's
other
what
guys
killed
just stand still.
it kills it. It kills it for me. But I gotta give mad props for people standing up for who
Man,
they
if you like 'em, I
did.
like him.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. But yeah, the throwing the guitar and the jumping around and I don't know what he's doing over there.
I think they turn off his guitar when he starts throwing it all around. They turn off his guitar and they lower him in the mix and they let him dance. That's
That's
my
funny.
opinion.
Hey, do you guys remember like a couple of years, the last tour, when he fucking flipped the guitar and it went in the fucking crowd?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did
shit.
that part. Yeah,
You figure
That video went viral.
your chances go up if you throw your guitar every show. Sooner or later, it's gonna
It's gonna
malfunction,
happen.
man.
It's gonna happen. Someone's getting hit right in the mug with a fucking strand.
But they love him.
For him
You
to-
gotta-
I'm waiting for him to have a bassist of Nirvana moment, and have
Oh,
it hit him.
shit.
Oh
That-
God,
that's
like
himself.
Chris, knock himself out.
I mean, I do. I like the guy's
No.
spirit.
Almost knock out.
When you're watching them, I saw them with him, and it is distracting, straight up. I don't care what anybody says, because you got Adrian and Dave Murray just class acting it the whole time. Like those dudes are class act.
So help me out, Help me out, guys. I'm a little stoned. My first Maiden show was the Brave New World with Queensryche, Halford, and
Motorhead.
Iron Maiden at Shoreline.
Shoreline.
Now was that so? That was like September of 2000 or so.
Yeah,
Was
sure.
Yannick in the group at that
Yes,
time?
he was.
Touring with them.
Oh yes, he was.
He came in when
Okay.
He
he
was,
left.
you
He
would-
played
you-
on the 2 albums with
You can't miss him. He's throwing the guitar all over the places.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember anyone throwing the guitar, but then again, you know,
The
I
guy
wasn't looking for it. You
what
know.
I remember from that concert? You know what I remember? Halford's band took the fucking night. They had no stage.
They killed it, bro.
They fucking destroyed that night, dude. Nobody
Oh my
expected it.
God.
They were
Metal
the
Mike
Oh.
Chesney.
band. They were the best of the whole three.
Metal Mike can play.
Yeah, dude, nobody had any idea. They were just like, "Oh, it's just Halford's side thing." But oh my God, it was like this one, the Lamb of God, Megadeth. Lamb of God killed it, and Megadeth
Really
was just
good
kind of
show.
meh.
yeah.
This year you're talking about, right? That's all
Yeah.
I've heard from that tour.
You guys all make valid points.
I have a valid point though of why Yannick dances so much though, because when you're doing the classic fucking songs,
You
he
should
really has
stop.
nothing to do.
Please stop. Please stop.
He doesn't. He doesn't have anything to do. You're
He
playing
does
Trooper.
dance.
He has
Yeah,
nothing to do with dance.
He dances around like Paul Stanley. It's crazy.
I like Paul Stanley though.
If you think about it, though, I think he was the one that got Steve Harris to do a lot of these songs. It seems like when he came into the band and they all got back together. Remember Brave New World, right? The band was back together again. That was the album that they all started. That they started these long tunes, right? And if you read it, these super long ones, it's Yannick and Steve Harris that are doing a lot of these like 10-minute ones. I don't know if that's coincidence or what, but maybe because he needs part.
Maybe that's how he managed to stay in the band.
So
I'll be honest with you.
solos. Yeah,
I'll be
that's how
honest
he's
with you.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, it seems like the guys never learned all the songs. That's just me.
That's why he
You
danced.
know why I think they got him in the band? Because they felt guilty because they ripped off that White Spirit riff for 2 minutes to midnight. Go
No
fucking.
shit. No shit.
They took that
That's-
exact riff. It's the same
That's
fucking
deep.
riff, man.
That's deep right there.
That's Yannick's old band.
That's Yannick.
It's
Yeah, White Spirit.
group.
That's deep.
It's the same riff. It's funny when you listen. You're like, damn. Like, okay.
Yeah,
So they felt
Yeah.
guilty. They're like, all right, we better let him in the band. We took his
the
riff.
riff of
You can stay.
Midnight Before Adrian on White Spirit on the song called
Please don't
Midnight
push
Shoot.
Yannick like Hallowed Be Thy Name guy did.
Oh, I know. Oh man.
This is
That,
good.
that one's obvious too. I mean, you go listen to that song, it's like, holy crap, Steve. Okay, he didn't even try to hide it. It was just like, here you go, you know. So they're lucky, they got
That was close.
in.
They didn't play it.
They had one lawsuit already. They're like, we better hire Yannick so we don't have two. You know? And Yannick's like, he's like, I want to dance or I'm gonna sue all you motherfuckers. They're like, oh, dance.
Let him dance.
Win the internet, John.
That's awesome.
Oh my
That
God.
is awesome. I always go ahead. This is
Oh,
great.
Vinicius was saying something, but he's kind of has bad audio. So I mean, bad video, so we can't see him.
He's
Vinicius
far away.
was-
He's very, very, very far away.
I think
Oh.
the thing with Janik is you would be dancing like him too if you had that gig.
Sure.
Oh, shit.
I would be dancing. I'd barely be playing my guitar because I got two of the best guitar players backing me up. I would be throwing my guitar like Yngwie Malmsteen. I'd be going crazy.
He's lighting it on fire.
Best gig in rock and roll besides, like, say, maybe Richie Faulkner. He got one of the best gigs in rock and roll. You know, when you get that kind of a gig, especially in Iron Maiden, where you've got two guitar players that are stellar.
And
Right
you
after
can
night.
fly you around.
Yeah, you'd be moonwalking like Michael Jackson too.
Absolutely.
That's pretty solid. You can't go wrong.
Totally. That's what I see. Like the time I saw him, he looked so happy. Like, you guys are letting
Dude,
me
he's
hang
never
out.
not happy.
He's happy.
Has anyone ever seen Yannick Gars fucking with like a frown? Or
No.
No.
Never.
Dude, this
Not
is
once.
and you notice that he always wears an Iron Maiden shirt as a thank you. He's like, hey guys, wearing this tonight.
It's funny that you guys are kind of, I mean, I know Vinicius is a huge fan, and I know
We love you, kid.
no, and Anthony, you know, he was saying,
He
you
can
know,
play guitar,
been looking
too.
at everything, the whole catalog, and you know, yeah. So I know he's, you guys are big fans, and but it's the showboating. I know, you know, my friend Tim Calvert, you know, who's in Forbidden and Nevermore.
yeah.
He would just go off, and he's like, "Oh, how was Maiden?" Because I would call them or whatever, texting. He's like, "Oh God, I can't stand him because of that running around, that showboating, the windmills and all that crap." So he would just go on and on for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, "Are you done?" And then I would continue my review of the Maiden show. But
Isn't there a part during the show where he fights with Eddie for about 2 hours? Like,
That would be fucking awesome.
I think there's a part,
Guitars at him.
but I get it. I got to give Maiden respect for keeping him, though. They could have fired his ass, and they didn't. It's amazing.
Yeah,
They-
you're
they
right.
kept-
Absolutely.
They kept it
I
cool.
think
Like,
they might have inspired my fucking favorite band of all time, which is Exodus. Because if you watch a lot of their like gigs, they play the full Terror Assault. They're bringing Ricky Hunnell back a lot.
why not?
I think they should just fucking
There
go.
there is a Maiden and Exodus tie-in. I'll
Yes,
tell you guys about because
I want to hear that, Walter. But I really think Exodus should say fuck it and bring Ricky back and be the fucking Iron Maiden of thrash. Fucking lead Rick
They
and
could pull
fucking
the
Gary.
3 guitar
I think they
attack
pull it.
off. But anyway, in '88 we did Pleasures of the Flesh tour, and it was Zetro's first tour. Our sound man was Doug Hall, who was Iron Maiden's long-term sound man up until about 5 years or 6 years ago. But he just did Iron Maiden through their whole career up until a while. So we were lucky to have Doug. And actually, I've been with Testament also, and they've used Doug. But he's a great outdoor sound guy, and that's the Bay Area tie-in. Testament, Exodus with the long-term. If you guys ever look up Doug Hall's name, he's
I know.
from
I
here,
know
but he moved to England and made himself a whole career with Iron Maiden. So
That's fucking awesome.
interesting.
anyway, I gotta go, guys. I wanted to say goodbye to Katon and March and Andy and John and Jeremy and all you guys. And
Thanks
You're
for
watching the
coming.
Giants game, aren't you?
I
Much love.
actually I got a high school football game that starts at 7:00. That's about 5 blocks from my house here, so I'm gonna walk over there. But
Friday night lights.
that's
Enjoy.
right. So tonight,
Much-
yes, I'm a football.
Much love and respect, Walter.
Katon, I'll
Love
see
you,
you.
brother.
I'll come out early to your gig and we'll hang out.
Yeah,
Are you
for
gonna be at that
sure.
one? I'm definitely coming up for that, Caden.
I'll see you there, man. I'm actually kind of scared because it seems like a lot of crazy bastards are coming out, but I'll see you.
Well, I'll be there.
Terrence Keenan's got a legacy,
Zetro
bud.
wants you on the vault, so make sure if you got any time to spare, we can pull you in there.
That'd be
Maybe.
fun. Listen, you just take care of yourself. Have fun tonight. Be careful out there.
All right, thanks,
Good to see you, Walter.
March. All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Walter. I hope that satisfied your question about the third guitarist that you mentioned an hour ago.
Got it. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Take
See ya.
care.
Take care.
Caden, when are you coming out here to the East Coast? Are you coming out here at all next year?
If we're lucky, I mean, it's still we're like most musicians and people in the music business. We're just waiting to see what the hell's going to happen. I mean, it's still way messed up. Everybody doesn't realize unless you're doing shows. It's right now is fucking crazy.
You know,
I mean,
well, I
Swap
know.
meet. That should be kind of cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Talk about that, you
Yeah,
guys.
I'll have a booth set up there.
I think we'll
Go for
all,
it. I mean-
at least all of us SoCal cats will be there. I'm sure, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, this was a good time to remember how much we were so lucky. All the shit we've had, like when you look
Yeah.
back, being able to go to concerts, and we took it for granted, and we should have because we didn't see this thing coming. But
Right.
yeah, getting back out and starting to do this again, it's like you'll be amazed how much you can't believe just to be around people, how much you missed it. You know.
I agree.
I
So yeah,
just went to one show, and it was
it's pretty
great.
heavy, but I still think next year we still got to wait and see what they tell us because there's still so much bullshit going on. I'm not going to get political because all of us have our beliefs, but I'm just saying it's just crazy time, especially for if you're in the music industry to even try to tour. You don't know what each club has different rules when you get there. I mean, the rules change like daily.
Right.
You know, so even the Petaluma show, we're still checking on every day to see what they say about the theater.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
there's anybody you can trust to do a show, though, it's Tom Gaffey.
Yeah,
All
we,
right.
This guy who
we were
runs
gonna,
Phoenix. He's been doing it
we
forever.
were gonna whiskey and the whiskey is just like, you know, I'm asking him, I'm like, okay, guys, like we got offered that Jeff Tate gig, and I was like, so what's the deal going to be in November? Like, you know, how's the protocol? And you know, all the guys and I talked, and everyone's just kind of scared to commit to a show right now because everyone's so uncertain what the hell's going to happen month to month, right? So it's like, you know, it's a big commitment, especially if guys got to fly in, and there's just, you know, there's monetary costs and, you know, a lot of things people don't realize that go with even just, you know, booking something. And so it's like before those absolutes, you know, were there, and now the absolutes aren't there, and that really makes things tough for musicians in an industry that already before COVID was super struggling. And you know, I mean, we all survive off live shows and merch sales because of the lack of tangible album sales, right? So it's gotten to the point for musicians, man, that if you're still in this game, one thing I can say is there's nobody pretentious left. If you're in this, you really love music, because you got to still be dealing with this shit.
You ain't
now, John and the other cats. Do you guys know what it's been like for the musicians who had shows canceled due to the shutdowns? You know, like, did the insurance pay for it? Did they get screwed? You know, was there any sort of compensation? I mean, is there insurance coverage for that? You know, for world pandemic? You know, it's like, what do you do?
I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec.
What I've heard is, like, say at the whiskey, I've had other friends where that happened last year, and it's like, well, we're just going to rebook you, you know, and we'll, you know, it's going to, you know, like, you have a slot still for a show. Because a lot of times with, like, some of these clubs in LA, and there's clubs other places, you just buy your tickets up front. They want like a $1,500 buy on X amount of tickets, $35, $25, blah, blah, blah. You sell your own tickets, you put your deposit up, and whatever you don't sell, you eat. So that's tough for a lot of bands to do right now, and say, I'm going to throw $1,500 up on this gig, and if it gets canceled, we'll reschedule you, but we can't guarantee when that's going to be. And you know, if it conflicts, then you're kind of screwed. So it's a lot of gray area when it comes to bands and musicians being insured on any of that shit. And I think that's why it's so tough, because especially in this kind of rock and heavy metal universe, that the revenues aren't massive, you know, especially shows, right? You're kind of at the mercy of a lot of those things as a band, and you got to kind of go into things with a lot of gray area, not sure what the hell's going to happen. And I think that's hard for everybody, you know.
It's a crazy time, but the thing that's even crazier is people really do want to see shows. Like, they really do start to finally go out. Like, even for me, it's kind of scary because the rules change, and nobody knows what to believe anymore. And so you're in a venue where you don't know for sure how it's being run. I mean, I'm open-minded, and I'm actually really cool about everybody's views. I don't give a shit. Like, you get to believe what you want to believe, but there is a fine line once you start going out to shows and stuff like that. You don't know how everybody else is and how they feel, and it's a weird time.
Especially when you start getting to other countries, Katon, because that's where you guys do a bulk of your touring.
Well, also, you know, when you do shows, if you're not afraid of the audience, you go out and you're touching a lot of people.
So,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about, and congratulations on that huge, like, that first whiskey show was completely sold out. It looked completely insane. Oh, were you? So tell us about your experience. I mean, that was
it was scary.
Just a month ago, right?
Yeah, but it was scary because we're, you know, doing these shows before everything's cool, supposedly. Yeah. So everybody's got a different outlook on it. All the musicians are different, and I'll be real with you. Some guys don't want to go along with the system, and I support that too. I support whatever the fuck you got to do. It's all personal. But we're dealing with a lot of personalities, a lot of people that feel they want to go left or right, you know, but you still want to have shows. Right. So then you've got this fine line that we're all walking with each other, but we all still need the music too. It's crazy. And the music brings people together beyond the politics, but in the back of your mind, there's still a bit of that. So when we did the whiskey, it was kind of scary because the first night was sold out, and I'm like, well, I'm not one of those guys who dodges people that like the band, so I still got to come out and see people.
Right.
But it's still scary because you're in a venue that's sold out and there's hardly anybody wearing a mask, even though we're supposed to or we're not supposed to, or I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to do. But I'm just saying, like, that's very early in the game. We're doing these shows, you know, like later on, I'm sure it's going to be okay. But there are bands that are starting to test the water right now. And it's, even if you're open-minded and you're crazy like me, you're still a little scared. You're still like, fuck, I've actually, not to bum everybody out, but I've had some friends that died from this shit, you know,
Me
like,
too.
I've known people that have died. People can believe whatever they want to believe, and I'm cool with that. But I personally have known some fuckers that died, and it sucks.
Adrian.
What do you do? Especially in an industry where you want everybody to have their rights. Like, I want all my friends, whatever they believe, even if it's shit that I don't believe, I want them to have their rights.
Of course.
You know, so what do we do?
So tell us about, I was looking up that festival you're playing in Tijuana, and the Dragon Rojo Metal Fest in Nervosa from Brazil.
Yeah, I think it's almost like now what's going to happen is a lot of promoters, especially underground promoters and stuff, are going to have to figure out other ways of doing stuff. It's a giant parking lot next to a giant mall in Tijuana. And we've got all these vendors and bands, and we're going to do it. And we've always done things kind of crazy like that.
The Black Castle times 10.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to kind of organize amongst yourselves, because especially right now, things are so messed up. Like, regular promoters are even scared to do stuff. So you kind of got to be an outlaw. I hate to say it, but it's kind of true. You got to be an outlaw. And I don't know how much longer people could hang on anyways. A lot of people can't take not doing anything much longer. I mean, you should see people are bursting at the seams. So, and I think some people would rather live than die now. They'd rather live now.
Do you know
die
how
later.
upset I was when I got the email today that they postponed? I was supposed to go see fucking, basically for me, Bay Area guy, Testament, fucking Exodus, and fucking Death Angel next Sunday night. 8 days away, 9 days away. And I got the email that's been postponed until April. Damn, I was pissed. I need to get it. And I've had my MDF ticket for 2022 since 2019.
It's like John said, there's no certainty. Like, we don't know what's coming next, and that sucks. Like,
the opposite from what Millie used to say, huh?
We need to play.
Well,
we need to
It's dude, yeah. I mean, it's like I've had my Rammstein ticket for like what 3 years now. I was supposed to go see him in LA in September, and then they kept postponing it. It's like fuck, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it was yeah. So like it went live in like 2019. It was supposed to be for 2020. I think tickets went on sale in December.
Me too.
And they're like, nope, December 2020, 2021. We'll see you in 2022, maybe.
It's been very sad.
Was it Anthony?
Yeah.
But then,
Sorry, Anthony, you were cutting out. What was that?
But then it's like, what do you do? Do you jump the gun and start playing shows, or do you wait till everything's cool? Most musicians can't fucking wait. Like, they're fucking backs to the wall. I know a lot of guys that are.
And I've been donating to some of those charities that that are for rock musicians. You know, like the stage hands, the behind the scenes crews that aren't selling gear, or units. So I donate to those guys because I know they've been fucking struggling just like the rest of the musicians,
It's the worst it's ever been.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're talking about road crews. You're talking about people that park the cars at the venues. You're talking about everybody, bartenders, barbacks, So it's crippled a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And some people can't hang on much longer.
So John brought up this metal swap meet that I think both of you guys are participating in. Tell us about it.
It's a ray of light for all of us. It means we're going to get to see each other, but it's like we're lucky because there's not much of that going on. Like, a lot of people are still even scared to do that, but it's cool. It's like these guys down in San Diego started something cool, like on a front yard where they had kegs of beer, and they just took it further and further. And they're really cool people, and I believe in what they're doing. I'm sure John does too. It's like when people are trying that hard to do something that brings people together out where we can celebrate the same kind of things that we dig, pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
what
going to
is
be
it?
fun.
It's like yeah. What
And you know,
what's the
they got Riggs coming.
Yeah, Griggs will be there. Yes, what John was saying. And it's fun.
are there live performances or like
Oh yeah,
merch
Blood
and
Feast is fun.
oh
Yeah, they're having a God. I can't believe it.
Blood Feast.
Blood Feast is going to be there. I'm sure there's a few other bands, and it's just a great thing because you get all these people out there with vendors, and they're all in the metal, and you get to
Anything
see
else?
this
And,
time. This
it'll
will
be
be
cool.
a bigger deal. It'll be a bigger deal because also we haven't seen each other in a while since the last one. So I just think it's awesome that people give a shit to try to do something like this. Like that's the thing that's the best about it.
100%.
A lot of people aren't doing this kind of stuff. They've kind of given up at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, it's important, you know. I mean, it's a community at the end of the day, especially now more than ever. You know, it takes a village, and you know the genre needs that communal kind of support and thought process going forward. You know, I know that heavy metal in itself is kind of a individual, you know, it's really, you know, kind of an individualistic kind of, you know, art form, but at the same time, it still needs a lot of that support. And I think it's good to see that there's people coming together and doing stuff like this. I think this is the kind of stuff that keeps people hanging in there because, as you were saying, a lot of people are barely hanging in, and it's a lot of people that are thinking about a different career now and going a different direction and giving up. You know, and it's sad to see. I do think that the silver lining is that, as you were saying earlier, I think when this finally subsides, there's going to be a massive, massive renaissance of shows. And
I know what he's saying because he just disappeared, but I know what he's saying.
Close the door.
Talking about just like the plague back when the real Renaissance happened.
No,
John walks it like he speaks it because White Wizzard's last fucking show was my birthday party in 2020.
No, I get it.
At the Regal Beagle.
There will be a renaissance, but the thing is making sure all of our friends are okay mentally, checking in with each other, looking out for each other. Like most of the people I know in the metal scene, I've known for like 20, 30 years.
I met you in, what, 84? 84, I think?
Yeah. And so we
Ricky's?
gotta kind of look out for each other because a lot of people are afraid to even talk about mental issues and shit, or they don't even know they might have a mental issue.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I do.
And but what I'm saying is through this, we've learned that we gotta kind of check in on each other because it's a longer haul than we thought it was gonna be. Like seriously, when they told me 2 weeks,
Yeah, I thought that was long.
they told me
Yeah.
we were doing this for 2 weeks. It's a long ass 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So yeah,
2
so
years.
Vinicius was telling he's in Brazil, but I think at least we have some shows. But Vinicius, what were you telling me that there's no shows at all in Brazil? Is that correct? Or in Rio? What were you telling me earlier? Vinicius?
Thomas is down there too. Thomas is an
Yeah.
excellent
Oh,
artist.
yeah,
man.
Thomas too.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
down there.
I
Yeah.
hope
So
I
are
hope
there?
This is the band.
Yeah.
20,
Uh,
20. I hope next year. Oh. No, nobody hear me.
We're
Yeah.
here.
Now we can. Yeah. Go on, Tom.
Okay. What? You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So no
Oh
shows at all.
There's two people
Okay.
from Brazil. Thomas calls
Yeah,
them
thank you.
Thomas and
Correct.
Vinicius.
don't shows in
Let me turn off
Brazil.
my
Wow.
video and
I have some friends staying.
After this shows in São Paulo after December.
just voice. I hope you can hear me better.
We can hear you.
Thomas,
They're
your English is
good.
better than you said, man. Your English is
Way
way
better.
better than you said.
Yeah.
I totally understood you, dude.
Si puedes hablar un poquito en español, es más fácil.
Wow, he's Brazilian and speaks Spanish instead of Portuguese.
It's
That's crazy.
Muy más fácil.
Your Spanish is good too.
Tem um brasileiro aí, ó. E aí,
But
ó?
don't-
Brasileira, porra!
Aqui mesmo, Vinicius.
Hey,
So positive, guys.
No, I just think
São
we all,
Paulo, cara. São Paulo.
you know, we're gonna all probably just have to keep an eye out and let each other know how our different collective music scenes are doing. But it's some places we're getting away with doing shows, and some places.
Hey, here in SoCal, the Doll Hut has become one of the premium locations for underground metal.
Right now?
Oh yeah, because they got the outdoor stage. And, you know, it
Smart.
works. I've seen Phobia and Void Vader and the Torture Fest
They
in
could
the last
use
like month.
they could
and-
use it too.
Oh yeah, it's a fun place to go too because you're like, this is a venue. It looks like a house.
That's awesome.
So I have a question for our two Brasileiros that are on the call, Thomas and Vinicius. Are you guys getting the vaccination over there, or what's the situation with that, the vaccination?
The
Dun, dun, dun,
situation
dun.
right now, it's a feel better. I'm getting my second vaccine in two
Get
weeks.
us some
Next
beer. I'll
week.
be right back.
Okay, good.
I'll be right back. I gotta get us some beer.
Sounds good.
I hope next year the situation is better than now.
Okay.
And I hope massive shows, gigs, and tours here in Brazil. We need it.
Yeah.
We all
So
need it.
right now, is it Brazil
And
or
then
just like
crash
Rio or
Brazil.
Sao Paulo? Yeah. Are there no shows at all in Brazil or big
No
shows?
shows.
Yeah, Rio
No,
and
no shows.
Thomas, São Paulo.
Yes.
One.
The festival, September, Black September, with the violence, with the hidden,
You say violence?
is done-
First,
no. The change for next year, in the year is not sure. After
They delayed it?
December,
After December, depois December, then they'll have shows
Yes.
again. Oh, okay.
So the
Yes.
December sounds like when they told us it'd be 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's sad. But,
Yeah.
I'm actually that you guys saw me take a call. I'm getting ready to go to see
We-
Fatal
and-
Substance play at the
Tell me if
Stardust.
they cancel.
We just don't know. We don't know what we're gonna be able to do.
No.
there,
Like it's
there are some gigs in November here. Small gigs.
November.
okay.
Small.
I'm going to a show tonight, guys.
Here's a good question though. How many venues have you been to, if you have been to a show, and how many masks have you really seen inside?
Not one. I've been to a bunch of shows and I haven't seen a single fucking. Hi, Annie.
Yeah.
Good question, Kat.
All right. That's a little
Let's not worry
surprise.
about things, you know.
My favorite married couples right there.
She's like saying, let's not worry, but it's hard not to, you know. I mean, we don't want to worry about stuff, but
Worrying gets you nowhere.
it does.
So-
But
Sounds like you're having an ADHD tangent, bro.
Oh,
I feel you right there with you, man. I do it
heard
too.
microdosing helps it out.
yeah, well, I think even though we're loosening up, everybody's been in their houses way too long. Like
Yeah,
They've
we get a little stir crazy, right?
they've almost made you get used to being in your house. Like, I mean, I hate to be all that
You're
guy,
absolutely right.
Yeah, it's
but
true.
you know, once we got to stay in, some of us started loving it. Like we got Netflix, we got
HBO Max.
Hulu.
Disney
You
Channel.
know, after a while, you're like, how many different things do we have now? Because we got Hulu, Disney
Weed
Plus,
delivered to your house.
Paramount.
Yeah.
exactly.
Booze
Get,
delivered to your house. You don't even have to
any
leave.
food you want delivered to your house.
I
Yeah.
actually
And
kinda-
thanks to
I kind of like
thanks
that
to
actually.
yeah, and
Yeah,
thank
it's
Kate and Katon, and now because of you, we're watching Squid Games and getting all hooked. So thank you. Thanks.
That is, I got lucky because I mean I like that kind of stuff. So when I saw that and it got to the red light, green light episode, I was all in. Like right when that happened, I go, honey, do you realize I just got hooked on this thing? Like, and then it took me like one more day to watch all of it, and I was
Oh
so
my God.
I was so
Wow.
mad when it was over. I was like,
Oh man.
don't do this to me. Don't do
That's
this.
funny.
But whenever it's that good, that happens, you know. I just think that they really used a lot of good stuff, like taking childhood games that you grew up with and
Yeah.
jeez, I don't want to give it away.
Red
so-
Rover?
Yeah, no, it's very relatable, right? Because when you're awake, everyone knows that. Like we don't know a lot of stuff like as a community, but that we know that's
Child
pretty
games?
universal.
Cool.
It's very
I-
universal.
I couldn't believe it. I was
I'm
like,
gonna go check
these
it out.
games we all played. Tug of War? Who hasn't played Tug of War? You know? But I don't want to give away too much. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen
Like
it,
green light?
Which
Red
which
Light,
show is
Green
this?
Light,
Duck Goose?
Squid Games. It's a series. It's a Korean thing on Netflix. Check it out.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
check it out.
I swear to you, just make sure you don't stop. Make sure you get to red light, green light, and then after that, you're just like, I'm in.
Check it out.
I'll message you and I'll let you know how it is.
Oh man.
And I can tell you this: you won't even see what's coming. You're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. We watched
I'm putting another watch
a
list.
couple of them. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, the further you get going, you're
Oh,
not
boy.
gonna.
Me,
I think
I've been into all the Marvel shit on Disney Plus. If you had told me when I was a
That's a lot
teenager,
of things to watch.
Squid Game.
that I would be watching a Disney Channel when I was in my 50s, I told you, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not watching no Disney when I'm in my 50s. But all the comic books that I read as a kid are now being made into series, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into the
Yeah.
boys yet? Have you seen the boys?
Oh, dude, I've watched both. That show is insane. I
The
can't
boys
wait.
is really good too. It's a bunch of bad superheroes. Like none of them
It's
are good.
basically what real life would be like if we had
Yeah.
superheroes.
Like it's kind of a good twist on superheroes. They're like
Right.
the meanest people ever. So
Dicks.
yeah, the boys is pretty good.
I love
It's
the
on
boys.
Disney.
Yeah,
No, that's on Amazon.
I think it's on Netflix.
No, it's on Amazon.
Oh,
It's
is
on
it?
Prime.
Okay.
I gotta
Put that on
go.
my list
I
after
gotta go
Squid
back to my
Games.
Amazon account.
Yeah.
Thank
Now,
Cheers.
this Iron Maiden talk was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, you guys. Thank
But
you, everyone, for
I told Mark the
participating.
truth. As soon as the new Carcass came out, I pretty much forgot
Oh man,
about how good is it. I gave it to you yesterday.
freaking that
Yeah.
artery's freaking badass. I love
The
it.
new Carcass
That's
is insane.
yeah, it's good. We'll probably talk about the new music that's come out. I haven't done a new music release thing, so yeah, please, I'll let you know.
That's one thing I've always got the ear to is the
Hey,
new bands.
can I just say it was awesome hanging out with you guys. I mean, I
Thank
myself
you.
I can't hang too long because I got some guests here from.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, we're
Are
yeah,
you still
we're good. We're good.
DJing at the Rainbow?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I joined with my laptop. I hope it's better now.
Somewhat.
Yeah, can you hear me better?
I can't see you yet, but it sounds better.
Yeah, that's not. I have no cam on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to see you. We know what you look like.
So I can talk better.
But thank you,
He has
everybody.
both his devices
Yeah, I
unmuted,
wanted,
but
I
yeah.
wanted to personally say just talking to you guys was really cool. I can say like there's been a lot of stuff in the last 2 years that I've done, but this is actually really awesome. I didn't even I thought we would be on here maybe an hour, and I would probably keep going if I wasn't doing this.
Yeah, I gotta
Thank you,
go
everyone.
see Fatal Substance play the Stardust. So
I'm gonna relax.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey, awesome. All you guys I see on Facebook as well, but to see you live for a couple
You
seconds,
guys,
really, really cool. This is an honor, seriously. And
Thank you,
Cool
Kate.
talk.
wait.
Thank you, all of
Are
you.
you still DJing at the Rainbow?
okay, the thing is, since the pandemic, I haven't gone back, dude. I was at the Rainbow the night they shut everything down, so they theirs and they told me, listen, we're taking 2 weeks off. We're shutting down for 2 weeks. and that was the last time I worked there. But I probably, in the long run, won't go back just because I live in Long Beach, and I don't really like coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning
I hear you.
to Long
But
Beach.
again, that's what Nikki told me at Grill 'em All about
Yeah,
the pandemic too.
it's a long drive, but I love that bar. That bar is a piece of history. So like, if you haven't been there, whenever you're in LA, even if I didn't work there, I would tell you to go there because there's so much history in there. Like,
And you got to see the statue.
you got to take your time and walk around. Even the stuff on the walls is insane. But I want to probably try to work in my town too, because I felt since the pandemic we all need to get back to our communities, and there's a lot of work for me to do here too. So I'm gonna probably just work here because I feel like we all got to dig out of a hole. I mean, that you figure 2 years of everybody being pretty much dazed is gonna take at least 2 years to fix everything. Really,
Right.
being real with you guys.
I can't.
But I had a
can't
really good
not
time,
agree with
and I also wanted to say thank you to, is it Vincenze? How do you say it?
Smart man.
The guy from Brazil, the young kid that played the guitar. How do you say his
Bottom
name?
from Brazil.
Hey man,
Vinicius.
very cool dude.
Vinicius.
Hey, thanks for playing for us, and to get all of us to pay attention that long. You won, man. You're a badass, because seriously, you're talking to people that have.
I have to say thank you for everybody about
Thank you so much.
Because inviting.
Yeah, and we appreciate you, and also I respect you loving Janet, man. Even though I will give you a little bit of crap, I respect it. I really do, and it was fun.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for making me feel like a human for about 2.5 hours. So I appreciate it.